Looking at this problem, I noticed a couple of things that, without seeing the original problem, I'm just looking at the steps. Um, right here, this is what catches my attention, and it says, let me see if I can highlight it to the best of my ability here. It says, because we are looking for K, it might be easiest to solve our first equation for D and substitute it into our second equation. All right, so when I look at that, what I can understand, and without seeing everything, is that more than likely your first equation, so if you look at here, we have K minus 4 equals 5 times D minus 4. Your other equation was probably, oops, let me change that. Your other equation probably was 3, won't let me write. Why won't you write? Try again. The other equation, there it goes, was probably 3D. 3D is equal to K. That was probably what your original equation was. And what they did in step 7 was they rewrote this equation to look like D equals K divided by 3. However, you don't have to do that. This is what they're showing you in Con here is another way to solve the problem. So I see what they're saying is because we're trying to figure out what K is, it's easier to get rid of the D. Well, that's not always the case. Right now, I think it's just as easy just to keep the original equation like it is. Knowing that, we can actually substitute this 3D into the place of RK. And so what we're going to do is instead of doing what they did in 8, 9, and basically 7, 8, and down, we're going to end up putting 3D in the place of K minus 4 is equal to, and we'll go ahead and do that distributive property. That's going to give me 5, sorry for my bad handwriting, I'm using a mouse pad, 5D minus 20. Okay, now that we've done that, it's just a matter of solving it like normal. So I'm going to add, I'm going to subtract 3D from both sides, and that would give me a negative 4 is equal to 2D minus 20. I'm going to add the 20 on both sides, and that gives me 16 is equal to 2D. And then when we divide by 2 on both sides, we find out that D is going to be 8. All right, but based upon what the question is asking, it's asking for what K is. And I believe this is a Kevin and Daniel type question. So it's asking for K. Well, here's the issue. We found out what Daniel is, so we're going to go back to our original equation that we had at the very beginning, probably in step 5, which is 3D equals K. So we'll put 8 in the place of 3, and we find out that Kevin, so we would go 3 times 8, and for some reason it's not wanting to write 3 times 8. Well, there it goes. Okay. 3. There it goes. And we get 24 equals K. All right, so basically what we did is instead of doing what Con was doing in 6 through 11, we just went and used the original equation, K minus 4 equals 5 times D minus 4, and 3D equals K. And we just plugged in 3D in the place of K, solved for it, and we found out that D, probably Daniel, is equal to 8 years old. And knowing that, we can say that Kevin is 24 years old. Well, if you look at their way of doing it, where they rearranged the problem, well, they solved it all the way out, and guess what they got? Kevin is 24 years old. So what they're showing you in this is another method of doing this problem. Personally, I think this extra step is not needed. Either way, it works. Okay, so either way, it works. All right, hopefully this helps.